When you think you've solved a genealogy problem and case study, you have to be able to explain it. In this video, I'm going to attempt to explain to you how I came up with the theory of Hiram Underwood and Nancy Ann Gaddy being the parents of Winfield Underwood, and hopefully teach you some things along the way, how you can do the same thing. Howdy, I'm Devon Noel Lee, and this is Family History Fanatics. If this is your first time with us, Andy, Caleb, and I teach you how you can find your family and preserve your legacy and have a ton of fun along the way. We're on episode 13 of the series, Research Over My Shoulder, focused on Winfield Underwood. Today, we're going to combine all of the clues and evidence that I gathered for answering the question, who are Winfield Underwood's parents, and try to explain it all to you, and then talk about, or begin the discussion of how do we let other people know of our findings. Okay, so in the last video, we had 3 clue webs. We had Nancy Underwood, who lived in Kentucky in 1880 with a whole household of kids and no daddy. But that census record said she was married, so we're going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Over there on the bottom left, we have a tree for H.J. Underwood and his son Clinton, and they're hanging out in Grayson County, Texas. Prior to the 1880 census, we found an 1860 census, and on that record, we found Hiram and Nancy living in Taylor County, Kentucky, with the son Winfield Underwood, the possible person we're all trying to track down, Winfield Underwood, a sister Cordelia, as well as Hiram's parents, Hiram and Cecilia, or Celia. Those arrows show you where we think the kids fit. Now let's walk it through. I believe that the husband of Nancy Underwood in the 1880 census is named Hiram J. I believe, based on that 1880 census, that he was hanging out, getting prepared for Nancy to migrate out there rather than haul everybody out there, especially since she has a youngling, a very young youngling there in her household. He went ahead, got everything ready. He took his son Clinton, and Clinton is just younger than Henry. Now, since I believe Clinton and Henry are related to Nancy, Clinton's death record provided the last name of Gaddy for Nancy. So I switched Nancy and Gaddy from Nancy just plain, and now I have the maiden name of Nancy based on her son Clinton's death record. I believe this little tree, based on the 1860 census record for Hiram and Nancy and G. Winfield and Cordelia, actually fit this family. And so what's going to happen next is I'm going to smush them into the common clue web. And you can see Winfield and Cordelia come above all the kids. I had to make them a whole lot smaller to fit on this screen. And because I believe this to be true, I can then add the additional information that I had from the 1860 census, as well as the additional 1880 census. I've got the location of where Nancy was born. Her mother was born, actually, and her father was born. And then because I did additional records, I believe she died in Texas. I need to do a little more research, but I'm confident she died in Texas. And I can take the rest of that family, Hiram and Cecilia from the 1860 census, slap it on here, throw in the birth date of Kentucky, and then I found a death date for Hiram right there as well. Whew! Combining all of those trees. Now, because I have that tree, I can make it smaller and then add the tree of Winfield and Rhoda Kelly with my question, what does the G stand for, and who are his parents? I believe I have figured this out. So Winfield here is the same as the Winfield here with the other kids. And because I can establish this connection, what I can do with my original clue web with the possibility of Hiram with Eliza Jane Martin or Gaddy, or Hiram and Nancy, I can go ahead and rule out that Hiram isn't the son of Nancy based on all the additional records that I didn't have time to explain, so here would be here forever. On the Family History Fanatics channel, I went ahead and ruled that out, even though the death record said that this was his mom. It really is this Gaddy, and that Gaddy is that Nancy Ann Gaddy. So I have now turned that red question to green question because it is solved. Now I did this by finding a lot of records that we talked about in a previous video. I still need to find the original birth record, but I found the marriage record. We found the 1860 record, the census, the 1870 census, the 1920 census, and although it's not green, I need to make it green. I found a lot of other vital records for the children and additional records that we didn't have time to cover. Death records, find a grave records, and more. So what next? Well, the first thing I need to do is go over to FamilySearch and break the relationship between Winfield Underwood and the parents, Hiram Elizabeth. When we break that link, I need to stop and tell people why I'm doing that in those annoying boxes on FamilySearch. Annoying for others. I love them. We're going to tell people why we're breaking them because Eliza Jane Martin is not Winfield's mother. Now, we also need to check to make sure Eliza Jane Martin could have been married to a Hiram and had those other kids. So we might just have to break the relationship to be clear cut between both sets of parents or just one. We're not going to cover that in this video, but that's something you have to figure out. But then we need to take our Winfield and attach him to the parents, Hiram and Nancy, and make sure Hiram is also connected to Hiram and Celia. So we have a lot of work to do over in FamilySearch. Finally, I need to write a conclusion of why all of this is true. I can do that by attaching all of those sources that we discussed through this whole process to FamilySearch, completing the reason statement boxes every time I add a new source so others can see my reasoning and why I did what I did. That's what is going to help you try to lock down these relationships that get tangled up. Sources and reason statements on FamilySearch. Where else can I explain my evidence for the conclusions I've made so that nobody else messes up Winfield's tree? It keeps him with Hiram and Nancy and all those other siblings. Let me know in the comments section below because I find that together we can come up with a lot of great answers. So make sure you leave a comment and learn from others in the community and never be afraid to ask a question. I hope you love our Research Over My Shoulder series, but that's not the only thing we have here on Family History Fanatics. We have genealogy videos, we have how to use a particular software, and more. So we will make sure you hit that red subscribe button and the bell so that YouTube will notify you whenever we post a new video. You have to do both. If you haven't received a copy of our free e-guide to the online sources that you can check out to learn about your family and find records pertaining to them, be sure to sign up for our newsletter and you will get this free guide. To do that, check our description and there will be a link to how to sign up. And finally, we have lots of videos. We have been posting videos since August of 2016, so be sure to check any of the videos that you see here on this screen and grab a bag of popcorn while you're at it. You'll be here a while.